So here we are. We are in the we're in the set of the Boardroom, but it's not the Boardroom. It's now your basement TV room, and we're here because I've always wanted to know what it would be like to watch an episode of Dragon's Den with a dragon. So I always love Dragon's Den. I love the carousel of rotating presenters that they now seem to have. So I thought I would sit down with the OG, the man himself, Richard Farleigh, and watch an episode of Dragon's Den. So are we up for that?
We absolutely are. It's going to be fun for me because I haven't watched it since I came off it.
What?
So,
really?
Which is, what are we now on season 23, and I was on seasons 2 and 3. So that's 20, it's 20 years, isn't it? So give or take.
Why have you not watched it? Why have you not watched it? Was it the pain or the fear or the...
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to watch it. And I don't know if it's some sort of jealousy because I'm not on it. And what are they doing? What's he doing in my chair at the end there, which I still view as my chair?
Yeah.
Or whether it's, because it's like a sausage. If you know what goes into it, you don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if it's going to be annoying to me because, what are they doing? Why aren't I doing that? Not that, I'm not, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to be annoying to you. I know it's definitely going to be annoying because I'm going to be asking loads of really stupid questions and exposing my slight mathematical naivety. Right, well, I reckon let's just kick in then. So you are the driver of the control.
I've got
let's go ahead. Let's watch your first Dragon's Den episode for years.
In my household, this is power.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't have it.
Welcome to the den.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
We're the same age, aren't we?
We are.
Well, you look so much younger than him.
Now, this next generation powerhouse.
Peter
is
was always
hungry
good at
for
the
more.
one-liners.
I did my job
he
in fashion.
tried to
I
use
started
them
my
whenever he
first
could.
business with £3,000 of my own savings. I scaled that to a
I think
multi-million
Tuka
pound business.
likes to
My
think he's
vision
good
is
at the
to
one-liners.
own.
A little bit of background on Tuka, because I've known Tuka for years. And when they asked him to go on Dragon's Den, he messaged me and said, can we have a chat about going... And Tuka won't mind me saying this, but he said, can we have a chat about me going on the Den, get your feedback, because obviously you know what it's like. And I'm like, yeah. And we spoke for about half an hour, and this is someone ringing you for advice. We spoke for half an hour, and Tuka, if you're watching this, we spoke for half an hour, and I would have spoken for about 3 minutes. So it was like blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah. But what was funny, I can't remember what the three things were, but he said there's three things that matter. One is your intelligence, one is your personality, and one is your ability to explain things or something. And he goes, obviously I've got all of those, so I don't really see any risk. I'm like, you're not lacking in confidence.
So he basically phoned you to ask your advice, but then proceeded to just tell you everything.
Well, you get that in business too. People go, can I talk about my business idea? And they're like, can I get your advice? And you say, well, I'm not sure about that. Anyway, it's good to see Peter's aged well, hasn't he?
Yes,
and,
no.
And nothing. Deborah's aged well too. But Deborah's on the show only because of me.
Is that right?
And she's been on it ever since, they got me off for various reasons, whatever, debatable reasons.
Yeah.
I auditioned her. So they'd already asked me to be a dragon, and then to do a dry run with her to test her out. And I think I'd done a dry run, and they'd accepted me. They'd chosen me because they had me in mind for the first series, but then they decided to go with Doug Richard, and then they went for me for the second and third. But so I actually sat and was a dragon for her to present, and I got on very well with her off camera. Or off rehearsal, and then we were talking afterwards. I remember we were walking out of the building. I remember like it was yesterday, walking out of the building because I don't think I really want to do this. I'm like, I don't know if I feel very comfortable about the exposure and about whether I'd be any good and all this kind of stuff. Like, no, you'd be great. And I more or less, I'm not saying who knows what she would have decided, but I really pushed her to do it. I said, I really want to do it with you. I said, so here she is, and we're watching her.
She's on there now.
We're watching her now.
I've got all my dancers
first
with
impressions?
me who are giving me kind of
Well,
comfort
it depends how much they are. Depends how many they've sold.
Really
There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean, there are, but most ideas are viable if people, by the time people launch them like that, they're viable. It just comes down to where they get them made, how much it costs, whether they've tested whether they can actually sell any, whether it's just their mum saying this is a good idea, or they've actually got real feedback, and the financials will be important.
Yeah.
But also, it'd be handy to know, they look quite novel to me, I've never seen anything like that.
No.
It'd be handy to know what other sort of hats look like that, if there's anything similar. But how much do you think they are?
I mean, I would think they're probably a few £100, but I would argue that they probably need to be. If they were closer to £5,000, £4,000, I think they'd be more interested in if they're a couple of £100. What do you reckon?
Wow. Well, yeah, you might sell a small number of very profitable.
That's what I mean.
Who knows what market they're going after? They're going after presumably younger people.
Well, they're not going after us.
I'm assuming it's women, right?
It's literally not
Let's go
us.
into the genders, but I'm assuming it's women. But yeah, let's see how much they are. I mean, I think a couple of hundred. I don't know. Like men are on very weak.
This is not our market. This is not our market. I'm not investing.
I've actually made you each your own custom hat, tailored to how I feel like maybe your personality would shine through a hat. I love that. Risky.
This is a good presentation.
Yeah, it's a very good presentation.
Especially everyone getting their own hat. You feel like you're
yeah,
part
no,
of
that's
it.
it exactly. You come away with
Repurposed
something.
into bespoke designer headgear are the offering from Chloe Messer.
So, Peter, you have got a big patriotic number for the King of the UK
I love it
retail
already.
scene. Matches your suit.
It does actually match his suit.
Yeah.
That's
Chloe is
ridiculous.
seeking £50,000 in return for 15% of her business.
So what's your first question here then? What would your first question be to this to Chloe?
Well, I've got a bunch of questions. The order is not that important, but I'd want to know how much they sell for.
Yeah.
That'd probably be
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, exactly the same. I'd want to know who the target market is, who they sell for, and then, how long she's been going, what their traction has been so far, basically. But it's mainly the price point. Because I think there's two very interesting markets here, and I'm just interested to see which one they're going for.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, the one she's wearing looks nice, and the one the contestant is wearing looks nice. You could wear that to a ascot or something. Some of the others look like joke hats.
Yeah, and I can see there being a market in that kind of almost sort of Coachella, Glastonbury sort of celebrity circuit where you get really sort of like the Tiny Tempers of this world wearing them than other people. But I would say you're only going to sell about 100, 200 a year or something like that. So you want to make that as high price as possible.
So when you made that 30k last year, did you make a profit on that?
I did make a profit, and it was 3,785.
She seems pretty genuine.
Yeah, so I pay myself a monthly salary of just around £800, just under.
That is a
and I take
really
dividends
big
of
point,
16,000.
where she said she pays herself a salary because a lot of businesses will make a profit.
Yeah.
Call it a profit, but they're not paying themselves.
Yeah,
and if they included a decent wage for themselves,
they'd be
even just
making a
not
loss, yeah.
having to pay it, but just in terms of a concept,
Yeah.
you need to charge out your
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
And they're running at a loss, or they're working for £3 an hour or something. You know? So it's good that she's paying herself a salary. It's quite
so it's a
disciplined,
genuine profit,
and the
yeah.
company's been set up properly. But it shows that there is if she's breaking even or making a profit at this stage, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So on average, my hats sell for £250.
Okay.
And hopefully that's the market that I want to be getting into.
I would be sitting there now going, I haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
Which probably means, if this is the first episode, I mean, it's not filmed that way, so this could be the last day of filming. It's spliced and moved around.
Yeah.
But if this was one of the early ones, you think, I've got to get some investments under my belt because, you sort of think, I'm going to go on the series, I've got to do about 5 investments. So you might think this is probably going to be better than the next few. But it's something, how can you have an idea?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that actually, that you basically, that you are obliged to have a number
No, you're not obliged, but, there was always pressure. We were always, when we were filming for sort of 4 weeks for a series, I think of 8 or 12, maybe both for the 2 series I was on. But there was always, the directors were always counting that need 1 investment per show. And then when we got to 8, if it was a series of 8, there was a bit of relaxing because everyone, so it's definitely a target. And
brilliant.
if anyone does invest, the director's like, thank you.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, but I'd be sitting there going, I don't want to ask the first question.
Yeah.
But
well, what's your feeling? Because I mean, so now we know what she's asking for, so we know what the valuation is, we know what the product sells at, and we know roughly. I mean, I think she sells a lot more than I thought she would sell.
Yeah. What did she say? She had 30,000 of sales, didn't she? So that's. Well, not that many.
Yeah, no. It's not. Well, I mean, but that's the point. I think she's in the right market. I would argue that she could definitely do more festivals, but I think given the price point and everything else, I think there's a ceiling to where this can scale to.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of, that the fact it's on Dragon's Den will give it a boost. You'll probably double her sales tomorrow. You
You going to buy one?
Not by us, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. But I think, this is so much not the product about her. I think she's very impressive.
She's very impressive.
I think she memorised her presentation. She knew every word she was going to say.
Yeah.
And the models coming in and the hat per person. I just can see she's got the personality to make this work.
But a lot of people use this as the marketing tool, don't they?
Yeah.
Really?
When I was on, they hadn't quite figured that out.
Yeah,
yet.
no, that's it. There's a
a
lot of people have already kind of got investment and they ask for like $5,000, like on a £25 million business.
But he's from the rag trade, so he will know.
Right.
This is not clothes, but he'll ask a good question.
In order to create this vision, you need more people. You need a lot more than 50,000, right? You need premises, ideally a little shop with a workshop in the back.
Yeah.
Gonna be a tough one.
There's something really special here, and someone else will just pull you in the wrong directions. Like, you need to lead the vision and be focused on it, and you will blow up, because you already are blowing up. So well done. But this isn't an investment for me, so I am out.
That's all very warm and
I know.
but no use at all. If I'm being tough, I'm being a dragon back at the Dragons. That's no use at all.
Well, you can't take it.
I mean, why hasn't anyone asked how much do they cost to make? So they sell for about 200, 250 or something. How much do they cost to make? That's a big deal.
Well, you kind of, it's exactly that. It's how much do they cost to make, and also, where does she think the growth is potentially coming from? She's got two festivals.
Well, I suppose, and would she sell much off the web? Has she sold many internationally? Is it all sort of require going to,
Is it all hats? Is there anything else? They've got
she should be asking how much they cost to make. That's what I'm sitting here wondering. If they cost £10, you can sell them for...
Let's see if anybody else asks that.
You'd want to ask before you go out, wouldn't you?
Chloe, the really interesting thing is that
he loves doing that.
Yeah, of course.
He knows what he's doing. He's like, he knows exactly how this works.
I know I can help. So I am going to make you an offer.
Wow.
Well, I am
gonna give you-
surprised.
Half the money, that's 25,000, and I'll match Peter's offer of 15%.
It's a deal done.
And I'm surprised because they've asked absolutely nothing about the business, the mechanics, the costs, the anything. It's just basically they're buying her. It's a relatively small company.
I want it to be a big brand.
Right.
Yeah.
I think she got that on personality.
Yeah, she definitely got it on personality.
Good for her.
And to be fair,
you're happy for her, aren't
to be
you?
fair, yeah, no, you are. I mean, I think that's great.
I'd love to find out. It's going to be interesting to know what happens to that in 12 months' time. We might see them everywhere.
Well, we might do. She looks very happy. I mean, she was. I think she was
Good
very
for her.
creative. She was great. She did a good pitch.
It's not for those Dragons, it's not a huge amount of money.
That's what I mean.
So I don't know if they're just doing it for fun.
Well, they're getting their quota up, obviously,
Yes.
so they keep their jobs for the next season.
I'd love to know if they really think they're going to make money. Again, it's about the person, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's right. At those kind of levels, it is. Yeah, exactly. It is about the people.
Yeah, good for her.
Hello, Dragons. I'm Murad, and today I'm seeking £70,000 in exchange for a 4% equity stake in my business, Mosaic Journal.
Bloody hell, that's ballsy.
Photo printing app with a little bit of a twist. We raised 6 months ago at a $2.5 million valuation before we had...
$2.5 million valuation. Can I know who your investors are?
I'll tell
I've
you.
got some stuff they can invest in. Jesus.
I am going to make you an offer.
Wow.
There you go.
I just can't figure out how, 4% to me is just never going to happen. It's never going to happen. However, I'd make you an offer for all of the money for 15%.
Might be cheaper to be a
Love
customer, mate.
it. We've got a deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
He did well there. He did well.
So poor old Deborah, he didn't even consider her.
Yeah, he did her over for 3%.
That's a bit of a...
magic moment for Murad.
I mean, it literally was. She had the better offer on the
Yes.
table. He was all bothered about the offer, and then all of a sudden
Didn't
it's
even
like,
consider
no,
her.
I'm here for the marketing and the Bartlett. That's it.
Yeah. It's like a charity show.
It is so bad.
We are here to look for a strategic partnership, as well as an
Nice
investment
brand.
ask of £100,000 for 2.5% of our plant-based drink company.
To date, we have almost raised nearly £2 million,
Bloody hell. I mean, good pitch and
Yes.
a nice product, but is it 25 million quid? I mean, the show's up in it, but what's your first question now?
Where's the money gone? Something's gone wrong. If they raised 2 million,
So if they raised 2 million, now they're after 100 grand.
First off, I mean, okay, so I'd be looking at, sometimes it's just very hard to evaluate. The product looks fine. It sounds good. It all sounds like they know what they're talking about. But the first question, a lot of it becomes to the numbers. And if they've raised 2 million, unless it's just coming on TV to get the advertising, the first thing you do is go back to your existing investors. If they've got 2 million, they've got pockets.
Yeah.
And if we're just one more product away, I'd love to know where that 2 million's gone and why aren't the investors supporting it for this 100,000.
And is this pre-revenue? Because there's nothing. These are prototypes, so I don't even think there's any money on the table. They've raised 2 million quid with no money on the table at all.
This is
and now they're after another 100 grand.
The numbers so far on this show.
It's fantastic. Well,
two have got an investment, so
I'm going on this show.
We're in the final. We're at 90% now.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Raising the funding capital.
So they've pledged it.
They haven't got the money. So they haven't got 2 million quid.
Yeah.
What would you do here? Because I think they're good people, they're credible. I think the product is potentially okay. I mean, the problem is the valuation and the numbers and...
you'd want... I mean, pre-revenue, what's it worth? It's just intellectual property. It's just the idea and some nice packaging, it's intellectual property. So, you can, I used to go to Oxford University and take stuff which had 10 PhDs and PhD students working on, and it would be valued about 30 or 40,000.
Yeah.
From a high-level university. Yeah. And people will come up with a website or some packaging and an idea for products and beans they've found in South America or something, and they put that valuation on, and that's all, but it just doesn't happen. It's not worth that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that I'm out. But I really appreciate you coming in and at least giving it a go.
It's funny when you're going out last, and you want all the good reasons have been taken, and you've got written on your pad like why I'm going to go out, and you got that all ready, and then they go out, and then suddenly someone says the same thing, and you're like, well, I'm just out for what they said.
So why would I choose this over my preferred, which is oat milk? Why should I switch?
She always looks like you're going to get a massive bollocking from Deborah.
Because it's gluten-free?
I'm not gluten intolerant. All I'm bothered about is plant-based.
Very angry.
She's actually very nice.
I know, no, you said, but she frightens the living life out of me.
Can I tell you, I'll tell you some juicy gossip. There was a rumour when I was on it, which was openly discussed, among the dragons, that some tabloid had put out a 10 grand reward there was some rumour that me pashing off Deborah, me and Deborah pashing off. I'm like, Deborah, come on, $5 grand each for charity.
It's not bad. It's not. And did it happen? Did it happen?
No, it didn't happen.
Are you sure? Oh, okay.
No one has asked why they need the 100,000 if they got the 2 million.
No one's on. Yep.
It's not going to launch. It's not going to launch with 100,000. It's not going to get there.
No.
So they need the 2 million, or it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But if they have the 2 million, they don't need the 100,000. So why are they asking for it?
So I've got an observation. We've now watched 3 people go into the den. They've asked for 100,000, 70,000, and what was the first one? 40, 30,000. Not one dragon has asked them what they're going to spend the money on. Not one. Not one in the entire time so far. It's like, go on, there you go. I'm going on Dragon's Den. They're giving away free money, and they don't give a shit what it's for either.
Duncan would have been riled up about this.
Exactly.
So I'm afraid I won't be investing. I'm out.
I mean, if you want to get into that consumables space,
it's really hard.
Really hard. You've got to swing and hit it out of the park, and you need huge backers, huge infrastructure.
And one of the existing companies could go, that's a nice product. Yeah, we'll introduce that.
Yeah, well, but that's it. I mean, you look at your Levi roots. When you invested in Levi, I mean, that in itself needed so many stars to align. The idea of a bloke making a mass-produced sauce. I mean, who on earth?
Yeah, and it's only because Selfridges saw the show and they called up and Levi and said, we want to do it.
And there you go. And that might happen with these guys.
And they licensed it to them. Selfridges did everything. Or, British company did it for Selfridges.
After being subjected to violence and attacks whilst working as a pharmacist, I started to learn self-defence skills so I could take back control of my own safety.
As a pharmacist?
And what started as a very personal...
Don't normally let people...
No, have notes.
Read. That's, yeah.
See, I love that. That's a true dragon. I'm sitting there thinking, what, pharmacists get attacked? And you're like, she shouldn't have notes.
Breaking the rules.
Yeah, that's breaking the rules.
So can you just tell us how that franchise works?
Up to now, the 12 franchises we have been sold on an average of around £3,500.
Right.
Our current price now, just as we're moving on and scaling, is £15,000 for a franchise.
What I'd be asking is, does the business model work at 3.5?
Yeah.
They've sort of proven they can sell them at 3.5.
Yeah.
You know, so if you kept
So
doing
why
that,
would you not?
you know,
Yeah, exactly.
you
Would it
do
be
a whole
more
lot of
successful?
those.
Yeah.
You know, just keep, you know, and all your courses and everything are already designed. Your logos and your brand assets, they're all done, aren't they? So you're just selling it. You know, your margins are very high.
And presumably, as well as the training and the brand, I mean, there must be some kind of marketing or whatever else it is that kind of elevates the brand on a monthly basis. I mean, there must be something that they're getting from it.
Yeah, but that's a fairly fixed cost, isn't it? That, you know, they're spending on promoting the brand, whatever it's called. So their margins every time they sell one, basically the profits.
That's what I mean.
$3,500.
Everyone benefits from the same thing. It's not going to go up.
Yeah. So I don't know. You know, why they wouldn't keep, you know, put it up to $5,000. You know, test test it before you destroy it.
Immediately.
Test before destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to join you on this.
No way.
Oh my God.
So I would love to give you all of the money and for the 10% you asked for, because I believe in you and I believe
It's a
in the
donation.
mission, and I think you're amazing.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
you.
Is she just doing the guest appearance on this one?
She is, yes.
So this is, I'll do one.
Yeah.
And they might ask me
They
back.
might ask me back.
I mean,
That's it.
it's lovely to get, you know, she's a lovely woman.
Am I booked for season 24? Yeah. Well, that was something.
So 3 out of 4 got investments, is that right?
Everyone got investments. So there was only
one that there was
only
rejection.
one that, yeah, but that's because they had a £25 million valuation.
Yeah.
I mean,
they,
if
they were getting 2 million anyway.
If they'd have had a £10 million valuation, they'd have got the money as well. Yeah,
I'm amazed, because it's a whole series going to be like that, where there's got a lot of investments. But, you know, I mean, I don't think I would have invested in any of those businesses. So I don't know if I've gotten too hard in my older age, or whether.
Well, so what do you think? What do you think's changed? Why are those guys investing in those businesses? Because I don't think any of the things that were invested in felt like either really interesting ideas, really scalable businesses, or certainly defensible scalable businesses, but yet all of them got what they wanted.
Yeah, they're all quite sort of small scale, I suppose. I mean, the last one, you know, you'd need to, you know, with the women's defence one, you know, like you'd want to go a little bit into what she's offering. You know, like you know, that's impressive, turning around and hitting them in the face. But does karate do that? I mean, you know, does judo? Did you know, judo? You grab them and throw. You know, like, you know. So how different is that? You know, I mean, and how much?
Yeah.
And we didn't see much of the branding. You know, like these big, you know, big images of women.
No, there was no branding. I mean, I think the demonstration was, you know, very, very effective, but there was no real kind of demonstration of what it was that people were buying into. And I think the reason that you would buy into that is because whatever that brand is, Fight Back or Strike Back, whatever it is, it's a kite mark that tells you that you're going to basically get this standard of training, this standard of kind of, you know, all of that stuff. And there was just none of that. I think, I mean, I don't know what you, I just felt that there wasn't anywhere near the level of detail or scrutiny that used to happen in your day.
No, it was very personal. It was like watching a.
It was X Factor.
Yeah. It's almost sort of more soap opera. Each person going in their you know, personal stories, which were all lovely, but it wasn't like, okay, there was less analysis than I would have expected. You know, like how much are those franchises successful? Are they still going?
Yeah,
you know, have you got an idea what turnover they're really doing? You know, you delve into that. You know, and you know, how did you get these 10 or 12 or people to pay up $3,500? And, you know, someone told you should be offering 50. You know, that might have been an accountant who's not investing, or,
maybe.
you know, it could have been anyone. You know, but that massive pay increase, that might destroy the whole business model. So there wasn't much analysis. It was very light on analysis. It's all very touchy-feely, which is nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit more like maybe it's BBC One now instead of BBC Two.
Yeah.
Less analysis about, you know, Duncan would have been there going, what's your third year gross margin?
Yeah.
You know, he would have been literally asking for that and poring over the numbers. If they didn't know their numbers, it'd be hammered. So, which I think this is not great TV.
So
it's not great TV in the sense that it's not teaching anyone how to be an entrepreneur. This teaches nothing about, you know, there's nothing about copyright or you know, patents or first mover advantage or numbers or you know, profit margins, costing and production, where the hat's made. Like that, there's no real bones.
No,
it's just all.
So if you were watching this as an entrepreneur, you're not really getting any sense of how.
One of the reasons I was in two minds whether to go on when I was offered the slot. And what I liked was that it was pretty well what I did as a day job, as a business angel or entrepreneur or whatever, where you're literally grilling down on those things and things like someone mentioned, barriers to entry, those sort of things, first mover advantage, production costs, margins, all that sort of stuff was discussed in detail, and people would learn. I thought it was great. People would learn, and suddenly people were talking about patents and first mover advantages and things like that, and gross margins. Whereas this, it's just like go on, make sure you've got, and let's be slightly, let's make sure we've got our backstory. Very good, right? Even though it's a bit of a, as I say, as an investor, you've got to put that out of your mind. And those comments about, it's not about making money. I'm sorry. That's not, if you're on TV and you're building your TV personality, that might be the case. But if you're actually an investor and you're sitting there, which most of the 99.9% of the world is going to be like, that's the investors are going to not be sitting there going, they're going to be looking at the numbers and asking the sort of more detailed questions. And it seems to have brushed over any detail and any analysis.
I mean, I've not seen Dragon's Den for a long time either, and it has seemingly become this kind of homogenized entertainment sort of influencer style show. I mean, for me as an entrepreneur, I didn't learn anything from that whatsoever. And the only numbers that were really discussed were the valuation, what they were asking for, and occasionally a bit of a run rate over the years. That was it. There was no one grilling anything deeper. It was either good or bad. It was very binary.
This 2 million, is that a fund? Is that an individual? Is it a family office? Do you know them?
Absolutely.
How did you meet them?
It's very personality driven, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, they just like us and we like but that's not how the business world works. I think that's a summary. It doesn't reflect, those that one anyway, did not reflect how the real business world acts. If they don't act like that, that's a great story, John, here's some money,
I think next time let's do one from the archive and let's see how it used to be done. Let's compare.
You have me up there going, he's good.
Dragons of Old. We'll have a young lusty Richard Farleigh sat there basically, Mr. Nice, basically giving him a grilling.
And then we'll see Peter like, Theo used to, I'd rather stick needles in my eyes and invest in that. Where was that? Where were the put downs? They were great.
Everybody was lovely. Everyone made
that was good. It's light TV.
It's good TV.
If it's just meant to be entertainment and not any education, it's it really is becoming reality TV rather than educational TV. But we'll see. Keep that in mind. We've got a whole lot more.
We've got a whole season and we've got a load of back catalogue. So let's do it. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. This is, as I say, a dream to watch Dragon's Den with the Dragon, and there we go.
Does it make you feel like going on as a contestant?
Do you know what? I mean, they're giving away free money. As long as you don't really over pitch the valuation, they're giving away free money. So I'm going to go on.
One of the things the BBC explained to me was that it needs to be jeopardy. There needs to be the viewer, the way they filmed it. The viewer needs to feel like, hang on, there's something at stake here. Not like, everyone's going to be nice, and that there was some downside. There was some downside and it used to be almost humiliation or embarrassment at least. And now it's like the worst you're going to get is like, sorry, see you next week.
Rich, this has been fantastic. Thank you, mate. I'll see you next time.
See you next week.
Yes.